Hey, it's Mr. Estrada here, and our learning target today is I can convert negative exponents to positive exponents. Okay, here's our first example, simplify. So we know from our last video that when we divide exponents, or variables with the same exponents, we have to subtract the exponents. So we know that x to the fifth divided by x to the ninth is x to the fifth minus 9, which is going to give us x to the negative fourth. But see, here's the thing. This is not simplified if you have a negative exponent. And I'm going to write that down, and you should write it down too. It's not simplified if you have a negative exponent. So we have to get rid of the negative exponent. And I'm going to show you how to do that. There's a rule that says that if you have x to the negative a, you can just move the variable with the negative exponent to the denominator, and that will make the exponent positive. So in this case, the coefficient is going to stay in the numerator, and all you're going to do is you're going to bring this to the denominator. That's all you're going to do. Just bring the variable with the negative exponent to the denominator, and the coefficient is just going to stay right where it is. So here we got x to the negative 4. So we have, an invisible coefficient of 1, so it's going to stay right there on the top. And all we're going to do is we're just going to move x to the negative 4 to the bottom, and the exponent becomes positive. And that's it. We're finished. Now it's simplified because you don't have a negative exponent. Let's try another one. Here we have to simplify, so we know that we have to begin by dividing the coefficients. So 8 divided by 16, that's going to be equal to a half, right? Let me show you. If you don't know how to simplify fractions, or I'll show you. So if you do 8 divided by 16, you get 0.5. Let's convert that to simplest fraction form. It's 1 over 2. Okay, you just press, so what you do is you just do 8 divided by 16, press math, then press enter, and press enter again, and you get 1 over 2. So we divide the coefficients. Now we also have to divide the exponents with the common base. So that means we have to divide x to the fifth and x to the ninth, and that's going to be x to the negative 4. So if we put these together, we get 1 over 2 x to the negative 4. And now, right, I said we cannot have that negative exponent. We cannot have that. It's not considered simplified if you have a negative exponent. So how do we get rid of it? How do we get rid of the negative exponent? Well, you get rid of it by moving it to the denominator. So we get 1 over, everything just stays the same. All you do is just move the variable with the negative exponent to the bottom. And you're done. That's the final answer, right? All I did was I took this with the negative exponent, the variable with the negative exponent, and I just simply moved it to the denominator. Let's try one more. So again, begin by dividing the coefficients. So that's going to be negative 75 over negative 5, and that's going to give us positive 15. Let me just write that. And then we got, let me make some room, and I'm going to need more room there in the bottom. Then we got to do what? We got to divide the exponents with the common base. So x to the third divided by x to the eighth, that's x to the negative 5. Then we got y to the 8th. It's not, there's nothing, there isn't anything there to divide it with. There isn't like a common base to divide it with. So we could just say y to the 8th is just y to the 8th. And finally, we got z to the 9th over z to the 7th, and that's equal to z squared. So let's put them all together. We get 15x to the negative 5, y to the 8th, and z to the 2nd power. So we got a negative exponent. So we have to move that variable with the negative exponent, we have to move it to the denominator to make it positive. So we get 15 y to the 8th, z to the 2nd power, over x to the 5th. That is our final answer. Okay, I hope this video helps you with negative exponents. Take care.